voice and you have your own voice. Obviously, at this point in time, basically, we can speak for ourselves and whatever else. Yes, I may be still listening, but please let me have my time to speak. Don't you just love it, guys, basically, that when we try to find our own voice, basically, we feel like that we're being belittled or even spoken down to sometimes, because I've heard this in the concerns of the autistic community right now, and this one's obviously based on my blog post of please don't speak to me, speak on my behalf as I have a voice of my own. So hopefully you'll enjoy this read up or what have you, and you can find this excerpt on my blog, which I'll link in the description below if you want to just have it as a follow reading, but it will be just similar to what I'm sharing with you today. I'll tell you it irks me, but not just myself, because obviously it can be anyone for that matter, even though it's a pet peeve of many that I have in regards of this. And in saying this, basically, I have shared some of this based on the concerns for the autistic community, also about the future for the autistic community. And if you would like to watch more about the topic, I'll link it in the description below, as well as in the card above me. But just a quick recap, basically what I shared in that before I continue on is that in saying this, right, that there has been some autistics in the autistic community that doesn't feel safe and they can't speak out or have their voices being heard or listened to, or they just feel that they can't speak in retrospect of how they feel, or also in the terms of what I shared about how we should be addressed, be it autistic, holistic, neurodivergent, etc. And saying this it also comes back to the point of another point that I shared in that video, is based on people trying to speak on our behalf, regardless if it's an autistic parent or just an autistic in general that wants to speak for ourselves and themselves, or basically on that front is just people in general on the autistic community that doesn't have the fuller understanding, even though many people think that they understand that person. But I feel that some people are just plain out ignorant and arrogant and just feels that they should just treat us just as if we're in a minority regardless. And I feel that in saying this, that it's doing more harm than good for trying to speak out on our behalf, because we have our own voices and we should be able to speak from our experiences, life stories, or whatever we want to share with you guys. As you know, basically, as an autistic person, or as I would like to be called for many of years, I'm a person with Asperger's syndrome, so therefore is the terminology that I've been clearly saying time and time again, an ASPE. Okay, and if you don't know what the term of ASPE, even though I may have shared it so many times before to you guys, is basically ASPE is just a clinical slang term for someone like me who has Asperger's syndrome. I want to say to you guys right now, or ask you, not in a pleading way, but just in a considerate manner, to try and please understand autism from the autistic people around us, or just people in general that are autistic, who live this condition on a day-to-day basis, and that of the struggles that we may face, so that in saying that, not all people, but just some, as I said before, aren't wanting to understand us, or just plain out ignorant and arrogant and think that that we are being understood, we are being listened to, because there is, as just clearly shared, so much stigma still to this condition of autism. That's why I'm here to educate and advocate you all, as an autistic myself. Hopefully that you guys can journey with me regardless what it may be, be it if you're wanting tips and advice, or if you want me to just take you all on a journey based on having fun and games along the way that you may have seen in the past, with me and Father Liar, or just fun in general in itself, hearsay. But don't get me wrong though, just to be in mind, as I'm aware that there's others out there that has their own personal struggles as well, be it on the mental health, autism spectrum, and wider abroad. Okay, the people, however, who are most knowledgeable about autism are the ones that are living with autism, as an autistic every day, And then you may be thinking, why then do non-autistic people, or some people call it as neurotypicals, have the authority about autism and how to help autistic people? Quite simply, just put it blankly, is there is a network or organisation called the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, which is an important group obviously, because obviously they can advocate for themselves, although we need people to learn from, hence why ASAN was created, as well as many other community groups, be it through Facebook or websites, which I'll try and find some websites if you want to know more about this, especially the one I'm sharing today. ASAN understands autism better than any parent and professional groups. No offense to anyone that may be watching this or reading this, just bear in mind again, as I said, this is just based on my opinions and thoughts and experiences that I wish to share with you all today. People should be able to listen to us based on our experiences, needs, desires and goals to be met, even though at least many people may think of us as being really, really hard to understand, really, really hard to just get on with, or whatever it may be. But put us in that too hard to understand and too hard basket, so to speak. As I said before, acceptance is making each person feel valued and seeing our importance in society. Like, as you're aware, I'm helping to try and pave the way for more people like me to be given a way to communicate meaningfully, as well as being able to have a voice that they can use to share their stories and more. Especially basically on my platform, be it through my Facebook page, SB Answers, versus also, if need be, the open discussion board through YouTube itself and many more social medias that I'm on. I believe that I have made a difference, be it through my blogging or even just vlogging in general, or even through my social medias that you may have seen me on. Right? People need to know that many non-verbal people also have feelings and intelligence as well, not just people that are verbal autistics, because obviously many people have their ignorance and arrogance, why should we be dealing with autistic children or young people in general? We still are people, regardless, we still have feelings and whatnot, and I feel like we just get disregarded or thrown away into a place where we just don't want to banish us for good. Hence why, these debates about, euthanasia versus everything else, about different conditions through that euthanasia, which is a trigger topic, which I'll clearly maybe share that later on my thoughts about euthanasia also in New Zealand, that they're trying to bring forth about, hopefully later on as I shared. But as you know, basically my voice only comes through if I choose to speak, basically either via to you guys in person, or via through the internet, or via through my social media, or wherever I choose to go. Like, there is part of it through the autism about the selective mute, people being selective mute to people, and I'll hopefully do some research about selective mutism in autistics, and not just autistic children or adults alike, but it happens to people along the way through traumatic experiences in general as well. As you're aware, basically I have learnt to type more independently and actually voice out my concerns, or just be a voice for the ones that hasn't got a voice yet, on my own accord, independently, and as confidently as I can, without any prejudgment from others around me. Yes, I have been having some backlash, however, from some people that has actually, come at me, attacking me through autistic groups or what have you. Hence why I said in one part of the concerns of the autistic community, taking that step back while that is happening, because it gets too overwhelming, in some parts. I am doing my very darn hardest to actually, have catch-ups with people, and whatnot. So, as you know, basically it may take a while for me to try and project my thoughts or my, matters of concerns or opinions out to via through, if you're talking to me face to face, or veer through, as you can see on the screen, but I feel I am getting better, hopefully, and saying this, all I'm asking for is a bit of patience, as well as also trying to be as empathetic as possible by walking in my shoes of what life is like, or just being empathetic and understanding enough just to take me on board. You know, it's all a matter of respecting each other's views and opinions, matters of concerns, regardless what it may be, because obviously, as we know, we're each to our own. We can agree to disagree, disagree to agree, as I said in one of my videos. And in saying this also, I just hope that you can respect my voice, because, you know, even if it has to be supported from either a trusted person or form of a trusted source, that I want to bring it out regardless of like what I shared. But I've been sitting down trying to think if I should be sharing you guys my stories, because obviously, as you know, there's a lot of people out there that might just take advantage of us regardless, and I've noticed that when I've been growing up now, due to my kind nature and loyal nature, that I get taken advantage of, and I have been bullied time and time again. It has happened in the past and some in the present. My voice, however, is all mine, however, right, just to bear in mind. I have a voice now, which I am thankful for. As you know, my goal here, as well as my vision and everything else that I have shared on my channel, is to advocate and educate others, for those who communicate like me, to have more opportunities in regular education and mainstream life, along with just anyone in general that is interested in actually knowing me as a person without the label of SB, if need be, or just people in general that wants to just, come on the ride with my journey as well. And I've also believed that I had benefited along the way certain parts from such good education with some people along the way, of certain lecturers, teachers, learning to support people through high school and whatnot that are trying their darn hardest to understand me and my needs regardless, as well as also some of the activities I have just put myself out there in the past, as well as in sports and stuff in the local community and other communities I've been working with. I also believe that I do try, however, my very darn hardest to advocate for others that doesn't have a voice either, or still doesn't have the voice to speak out. Because obviously, as I said before, that, some autistics and non-verbal, or I'm speaking on behalf of just people in the mental health community in general, as well as of the mental health community, if need be, for what I've been through, be it a traumatic experience of being, abused, physically, mentally, and what have you. I vlog and blog to tell people how I feel and how communication has changed my life, as well as just not just communication in general that has changed my life, but just everyday other situations I've been in that has changed my life. And it's up to you guys if you want to take it or leave it based on my life experiences and tips and advice, if you want to, accept it or not. Also, in saying this, also I just do this also via vlogging, blogging, in the hopes of to convince the parents, teachers and therapists to believe that their children and students are smarter than they look. They have their full potential. They have goals in life, obviously. They may have dreams and visions. You may not accept some of these goals and visions, and they may have in their lifetime of what they want to become, but in saying this, it's all about supporting one another and also just being able to support their goals and dreams regardless what it may be. Also, in saying this, I vlog and blog to show meaningful communication by how it can open up a whole bigger, wider world of opportunities and alternatives to speaking as much as possible. And in saying this, it's also about, for me, I've also vlog and blog in the way of meaningful communication, of opening this bigger world of ours, basically by connecting with one another, as well as for many opportunities hopefully that will come our way to learn and grow in ourselves and with the others around us that hopefully want to journey with us. People can become much more happier if they are accepted, as I said. Acceptance and inclusion is where I'm at with my channel, which I want to do right now. And in saying this, also if you took away my voice, this would mean you're oppressing it, you're just having that control over me, obviously, and wanting to just, whatever way of it, through this oppression, take advantage to the point that, you know, thinking this is what I mean, even though, like someone said to me so many times before, it's not what I say, it's how I say it and how I come across to people, which hopefully, regardless of that wiring of the brain, which is how us autistics work, you know, and whatnot, that we can be able to have that freedom like many others, regardless race, gender, sexuality, and that be able to have that freedom of choice to speak. Also in saying this, I chose to vlog and blog also to deny any validity of supported communication that is like imprisoning an innocent person, hearsay. Just to bear in mind also to end this with you guys, autism is a neurological difference, okay, and I don't like using the word disability, but I usually call it a condition, neurological difference in condition, the wiring of our brain. I can't show away how I'm wired in this brain of mine based on my speech, my thoughts, and everything else that comes with us as an autistic. You know, I am doing the best I can to change what I feel needs to be changed in me. As I said in one of my videos, I can only do the best I can to do so in a way of not just to fit in your guys' expectations for how you want me to be, dress in a certain way, act a certain way. As I said before, many autistics do tend to shape shift as well as camouflage versus masking, or like just to blend and fit into that niche or that kind of, you know, title that you want us to be. I believe I'm built for another planet that isn't maybe yours, okay? As I said before, many of us autistics will see things in a different way. They may, you know, taste things in a different way, as I said, based on our, you know, hypersensors versus hyposensitivities of certain things of our 5 classic senses. But you may not be able to understand this, but that's okay. Hopefully, you just gotta learn that I must live here, but not on my little actual world of my own. So my ending here is just please help autistic people by loving us as we are and try not to cure us, because many people make that assumption we need to be cured, we need to be fixed, which I shared in one of my videos basically also. Peace comes when I am accepted and included in any activity of communication or whatever it may be. So this quickly ends based on my please don't speak on my behalf, as I have my voice on my own excerpt on my journal / WordPress blog. If you want to see it, like I said, feel free to check it in the description below. Also feel free, if you enjoyed this, smash the like or comment below also in saying this, that how you feel about, you know, people speaking on your behalf. Do you feel a bit uncomfortable? Do you actually feel that they shouldn't whatsoever, you know, speak on your behalf? How do you feel about all this? You know, if you do feel the way of, you know, it angers you or triggers you, how do you actually overcome this? This is what I'm going to challenge you guys today. And also in saying this, just to remind you guys, basically I have a merch store at the moment, and if you want to purchase any more merch, feel free to buy the thing that's on the screen or the description below. And in saying this also, I've got a Patreon code, so if you want to support me through what I'm doing for my future endeavours of what I've got planned for projects that's hoping to come in the next, fingers crossed, all of these ongoing ones that I've clearly shared, versus also just some other projects that I'm hoping to do that will cover my expenses through new recording equipment versus travel versus basically not just travel as such, but maybe just anything in general that I think that will be relevant to reach my goal and stuff and saying so, because as I said, it's all about giving back to you guys, and it doesn't have to be big, it can be small amount, because, you know, I'm hoping to do the best I can to give back to you guys. But yeah, if it's just, you know, educating and advocating as much as I can, when I can, hopefully now and in the future to come for you guys as an autistic advocate as well as a mental health advocate. So in all the do guys, basically, thanks for support, this is watching, do what I love, love it, do. Until next time, I'll see you again soon.